I was born here, and then when I was about 3 years, I moved up to San Francisco, and then lived there until I was 12. I went to a boarding school actually, as well, in Barstow, too, like between the age, 9 and 10.
What's a boarding school like?
It was cool. It wasn't really a school for bad kids. It was kind of just like they had this idea to create an environment like out in the desert, away from, everything else, and just focus on studies. And not to mention they had a lot of outdoor academic stuff. Like,
so look at that guy. This guy's all waving.
But they have like a farm there where you'd like help raise different animals. Like I had a pony that I had to.
Really?
That was like my pet, and kids like learn. It's kind of weird, but it was cool.
How many kids were in the boarding school?
It was probably about 60 or something at the most.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was small. It was a small school.
So when did you come back to LA?
Well, I came back the summer. Well, I was 12 years old, and it was the summer of '01, I believe. No, 2000.
Okay.
I guess the summer of 2000, and I didn't. I obviously wasn't going to school, so I didn't really know anybody out here.
Yeah.
And I was living at my parents' house, and so I got a computer for Christmas a couple years back, and I started to use it to meet people online, in like AOL chat rooms.
I've heard that you were really addicted to MySpace back when it came out.
Not really. People say that. I mean, I think it was back then. It was a lot easier to meet people like you, because it was like 2002 and 2003, and it was you couldn't walk down the street and see kids that listen to hardcore. And it wasn't everywhere, so it was like a cool community. It was a bit more exclusive back then, I feel. And even the other social networks like Face the Jury and like Mad Red Hair and Makeout Club and all those things that were more revolved around an alternative lifestyle rather than what it is now, a marketing tool,
Yeah.
So
Well, is Face the Jury still around?
I don't know. I haven't been on that for a long time, but I had a Face the Jury profile too. And the first one I ever had was Mad Red or Makeout Club, which was just one picture. A little like about me section, and then you could put your AIM name up, and that's it. The people that would gravitate towards that were people that had the similar interests, and I feel like within the last few years, that scene has sort of exploded, where you don't necessarily have to go online to meet people like you anymore. You can just walk down the street,
So you said you were 12 years old, you came back here, and you were just trying to meet new people?
Yeah, I met a bunch of kids in East LA, and started going to like hardcore shows and punk shows out there. And then I went to a little artsy school in or La Crescenta, if you know where that is.
It's Pasadena, like in the hills? It's
kind of, it's a little bit east of Pasadena, a little west of Pasadena.
Like Glendale?
Kind of. It's north of Glendale. And it's a weird, it's off the 210. It's a weird place. But I went to a school out there that was kind of an artsy school, and we were in a couple of punk bands and stuff when I was really young.
Did you ever play at the No Future Cafe over there?
No, but I used to go to the No Future Cafe.
Yeah. I've not been there, man. But
really? I haven't been there since 2002, sorry, 2002 or 3. Like, I haven't been there for a long time. I don't even know if is it around?
I got an email from some band saying that they were playing there, so I guess it's still around.
Crazy.
But yeah, it's nuts, man. So where did you go to high school and all that? Like,
never went to high school. I always went to private schools, like not sort of homeschool vibey. Like before I left to join from first to last, I was going to like a school where you'd show up 2 hours a day and then you would bring home homework, basically.
Oh shit!
But I never did the work. I was just playing in bands and playing music. That was all I really wanted to do. And
that's crazy.
Yeah, so I kind of had a interesting upbringing. I feel like I was going to shows at a young age. I got to play a lot of shows at a young age. I got to sort of hang out with older people and become, cultured in that sense.
Were your parents all supportive of this, or
they were. They really were. My father bought me my first guitar and making a mess. My father bought me.
Napkin, dude?
No, I'm cool. I'm
okay.
cool. My father bought me my first guitar when I was 9 years old.
Oh yeah.
And he was always into the fact that I like to sit in my room and make music. He always would come in and listen to my songs and acknowledge me for it. So.
What inspired you at such a young age? Like, what kept you? What made you write music?
A couple things. I mean, the fact that my social life revolved around going to shows only. That's when the kids, my first friends here were from East LA, and all they did was go to shows twice a week. That was like what they looked forward to, because they didn't have anything out there. In Bell County and Linwood and Inglewood, they didn't have anything. They would go to school and they didn't have money, and they would save up all their allowance for $2 at the door at some American Legion Hall, where it was just banging every week, and it was like, it became my life. That was all I really knew at that point, as far as like a social activity. It wasn't about, proms or like cutting high school to go smoke weed. It was just going to shows, Like I never got to experience, like I've never been inside of a public high school in my life. I've never been to a prom. I've never experienced all those normal teenage high school sort of things. So music was just all I really had. So yeah,
that's sweet though.
Yeah.
Like, how did From First to Last come into play? You were a little bit older, right?
I was 16. I just turned 16. Basically, I met Matt Good, the guitar player, on the internet, and we just started to talk, and I was playing guitar. I was really into it at that point. I was in a different band, and we would just send each other music back and forth, and this was even before he was signed to Epitaph. Okay. And then it was weird. This is kind of, I've never actually told this part of the story before. It's when a friend of mine committed suicide, and I was talking to him, and he was in LA. He was like, yeah, we just got signed to Epitaph, and we're at this Epitaph Christmas party right now. We should hang out. And we never got to meet that night. That's when I was just like, kind of in a weird place, and he was talking about how they're kicking their singer out, and it was just like, God, this could be something for me, because I was playing guitar, and he said he was going to sing, and they needed a guitar player. So all I did was just hound and harass him, like, I'll buy a plane ticket out there, let me just try out. Life kind of was in a weird place, so all I wanted to do was play music, and then after that, shortly after, I found out I was adopted. So then I called him and I said, listen, I don't care about anything right now. I want to come out here, and I really want to try out for your band. So he finally let me, and I came out, and I ended up singing. So
you said you were adopted. Tell me about that.
I was just turned 16, and I found out that some people that I knew my whole life were actually my parents and my brothers and sisters, and I had not known that. And I kind of found out through the grapevine, actually. It wasn't like I was told by someone. So I was a bit upset, and I can't blame them, because they kind of, I figured if you ever adopt someone, you tell them their whole life, so they never told me, so I happened to find out at my most rebellious stage in my life anyway, so it happened to make sense to just leave LA and go on tour.
Did you talk to your parents about
that? Yeah, we talk. We're great now. We're cool now. I love them, and both my biological and my parents, my adopted parents, are they know what they did was a mistake, and they're like, aside from that one mistake, they raised me so right, so I couldn't hold anything against them,
Sure, man.
Yeah.
So what was it like with From First to Last? Like, what were you feeling? What were you going through?
As far as
just you yourself, what are your thoughts on joining the band? And
it was a great experience. It was the best experience I've ever had in my life. Or one of the best experiences I've ever had, and brought me here today. And I'm not bitter about anything. I appreciate everything that they've done for me, and everything. I'm proud of myself for what I've done and the things I've accomplished at a young age. I'm still young, and I'm not letting that get the better of me, and I'm not